Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So earlier, I had a bad boy member who hit me up, and we were going back and forth through email, and he was basically saying like, he's out here trying to just hook up with chicks, right? He just wants to hook up. He's not really trying to go on a whole bunch of dates and do all other stuff, but he wants to have some sex with these chicks, right? And he said that, he was out there, talking to these girls and going extremely direct with them, letting them know that he wants to hook up. He doesn't want to go on dates. That's all he wants to do is to hook up. And he was saying that it seems like a lot of girls weren't like going for it. And, they seemed like they were sort of like, not feeling that vibe. So he was basically saying to me, he was like, hey, I don't understand what's going on. Am I coming on too strong? Should I, go a little bit more indirect in my approach and then try to, get some sex from them and all this other stuff, right? So basically, what I want to talk about in this video, right? I'm going to be talking about how to increase your chances of hooking up with more women, right? Now, before I get into, everything I'm going to talk about, one thing that's very important about this whole thing is because I get emails a lot from different guys who they'll say like, oh, I'm out here trying to holler at chicks and it ain't working, or they, these chicks ain't giving me no play, or, they ignore me, this and this and this and this and that. So they just like, well, none of this stuff, it doesn't work. Like, how am I going to make things happen? Right now, what happens is that you have to understand that, this is a numbers game. And I keep trying to tell guys this. I said this a zillion times. It's a numbers game. So what some guys will do is they'll go out and they'll talk to like 7 girls. And when, they're not getting any play from those 7 girls, they're just like, oh, this is some bullshit, whatever. How come I can't get girls, right? But you only talk to 7 chicks, right? You need to talk to more, right? And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the video, right? But the thing is is that when you're trying to hook up with women, right, the way that it's going to be easier for you to get straight to the sex is you have to go more direct versus indirect, right? So the thing is, what he was doing, he was going indirect. I mean, he was going direct, which is, what he should have been doing if he's trying to, increase his chances. But the thing was that he wasn't increasing his number of women he was talking to in order to increase his chances, right? And so when I was telling him, like, about going indirect, because he was like, hey, should I just go indirect and probably try it that way, right? Now, this is the thing. You can hook up with chicks going direct or indirect. It doesn't really matter, right? But there's different things that'll usually happen depending on which way you're going or the route that you're going. Because, when we talk about this going indirect or direct when it comes to hooking up with these girls, right? What's going to happen is that when you go the indirect route to try to hook up with them, what most guys do is they'll get with a chick, they'll holler at her, and they'll go the date route. But they still want to have sex with these girls, but they'll go the date route, meaning they'll talk to a girl, they'll approach her, talk to her, and give off the vibe of, yeah, let's go out and get together and hang out and, get to know each other and date and do all this other stuff. Even though these guys just want to have sex, they're going that route because they think that route is the only way to get sex, or they think it's easier than going direct because they feel like they can't just tell a girl, hey, I want to hook up, because they feel like it's not going to work. You understand what I'm saying? So you could go indirect and still hook up, but what's more effective is going direct, right? But again, all of this has to be in conjunction with playing the numbers game, right? So let me break this down, and I'm gonna break it down even more so you can get it and understand it, right? So let's say you are going indirect, right? Now, when I talk about the numbers, right, you would need to, let's say you got to talk to like 100 girls. Let's say you talk to 100 girls this week, right? Now, out of those 100 girls that you went indirect with, let's say you got 20 numbers. Out of those 100 girls, you got 20 numbers. So, about 20%, right? Then out of those 20 numbers, you saw 4 or 5 of those girls again. Like you hit all 20 of them up, and out of those 20, 4 or 5 responded to you, and you actually sort of like, saw those 4 or 5, right? Now, the thing is this. Now you have 4 or 5 girls who you could potentially have sex with, right? But since you approach them in sort of like this indirect way and didn't directly let them know you want to hook up, now what happens is that you have 4 or 5 girls that, it's sort of like still up in the air and, a little on the fence because, you stepped to them on some, hey, let's sort of get together stuff, but you didn't really step to them too heavy on the hooking up. You stepped to them on some, let's go on a date, let's hang out type of shit. You understand? So now you could go on a date, and then through the date, you build sexual tension and you flirt, and then she wants to have sex with you, and that could happen. But when it comes to the indirect situation, all you have in this situation is 4 or 5 girls who might have sex with you. Right? Because the way that you set it up and you went all indirect with the chick, you understand what I'm saying? As far as you not directly letting her know you want to hook up, she's dating you and seeing you with the feel and the vibe of you guys dating and getting to know each other, not necessarily to hook up. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, let's go with the direct situation. Now, let's say you go direct and you talk to 100 girls and you're directly letting these girls know you want to hook up. You're like, look, I ain't trying to go on no dates. I'm just trying to hook up, right? Now, a lot of times what's going to happen is if you go direct, you're probably, you in general, because of course, these things will vary depending on the situation, but in general, if you go direct, you're probably going to get less numbers. So let's say you talk to 100 girls and you go direct, and with the indirect you got 20 numbers, but with the direct you probably got about 8 numbers, right? So you went up to these girls and said, hey, what's up? I think you're really cute, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I just, we should get together and hook up. I'm not really trying to go on no dates. I just want to have some fun. Let's just hook up. You understand? So out of 100 girls, 8 of them was like, okay, cool. I'll give you my number. Let's make it happen, right? So you might be thinking, well, if I go indirect, I get 20 numbers, but then why is it when I go direct, I get only 8? Now, the reason why is because when you go direct and let a girl know you just want to hook up and you just want to have sex, there's a lot of women who will resist that, that vibe of being that forward. You understand? So you're going to have women who are totally just going to not be for it just because it's so forward. Like, oh, well, I don't even know you like that. And how am I going to hook up with you like that? What about, we need to just go on a date. What about going on dates? Yada, yada, yada. Right. So you're going to have those type of girls. So they're going to not be feeling that. Then you're going to have girls who are just not feeling you, period. So you're not going to get, those girls' numbers. Then you're going to have girls who sort of want to hook up with you, but won't give you the number or won't make it happen because they still sort of feel funny. Even though they want to do it, they feel embarrassed or funny, actually sort of going through that or complying with you to give you a number to even try to make that happen, right? And then you're going to have that small percentage of women who's going to be cool with it. And those are the 8 girls you got the number from. You understand? Because you have a lot of women who, because of societal pressures and because of how they feel they're going to look when the guy is talking to them or whatever, they don't want to look like a hoe and all this other goofy shit. That's going to play against you when you're trying to be direct about hooking up with a woman, right? So this is why the numbers will usually be lower as far as you getting numbers and all that than the indirect way. But let's say, you got 100 girls. You talk to 100 girls direct. You got 8 numbers, right? Now, let's say out of those 8 girls, you saw 1 or 2 of those girls, right? which is different than the 4 or 5 girls you met doing the indirect way. So the indirect way, you're still meeting more girls, right? But what happens is that the 4 or 5 girls, you might fuck them, right? When you go direct, you got 8 girls' numbers, and then you end up seeing maybe 1 or 2 of them. But in most cases, those 1 or 2 that you see most likely will fuck you. You understand? And the reason why is because when you step to them directly about hooking up, right? And they agreed and cooperated with that situation and was like, cool, right? The girls that you met, the 4 or 5 girls you met that on the indirect shit, they never agreed to fuck you. They agreed to go out with you and hang out with you. The 1 or 2 girls who got back to you on the direct thing agreed to fuck with you. You understand? On some sex shit. So most likely you will make the sex happen. Right? So see, the thing you got to understand is that even though you're going to have maybe less women who are going to be responsive to you when you just straight out say, yo, I want to have sex with you, the women who do or who are responsive to you saying, hey, I want to have sex with you, will most likely have sex with you. Versus when you go indirect, it's still, you have to sort of like, take that extra step to try to make the sex happen. You understand? So with the indirect, it's sort of like the sex might happen. With the direct, it's the sex most likely will happen. Right? And now you got to understand something. None of this is necessarily guaranteed as far as the woman, actually having sex with you. Because, at any moment she could just be like, oh, I don't feel like it. Or, I changed my mind and yada, yada, yada. But what I want you to understand is that to increase your chances of hooking up with more women, it's more beneficial for you to go direct if you are just trying to have sex with them. Now, if you want to have sex with a girl, but you also don't mind going on dates and hanging out with the chick and, going back and forth with her, then that's cool. You could do the indirect way and then, you finagle it that way. You understand? You do what you got to do that way. Right? But what I'm saying is, if you're just trying to go straight for sex, it is more beneficial for you to go direct, because even though you're going to get less numbers going direct, the quality of the women, or you should say the pool of women that you're going to get in that capacity, are most likely going to be down to have sex with you, versus if you're going indirect and you have some women there, but it's still more work you got to do because you haven't really solidified that situation to be a sexual situation. And again, if you want, more women to in these situations, you got to talk to more women. So if I'm saying, okay, you talk to 100 chicks, right? And out of those 100, you went direct and you got only 8 numbers. And out of those 8 numbers, you saw, 1 or 2 of them chicks got back to you and agreed to hook up with you. Then you got 1 or 2 girls that you can have sex with. So you had to talk to 100 girls to get 2 to fuck you. You understand? By going direct. Now, if you do the indirect way, you talk to 100 girls. You got 20 numbers, and out of those 20, you saw 4 or 5 of them again. 4 or 5 got back to you, and now you have 4 or 5 girls who might have sex with you because, you went indirect and you're still sort of doing that back and forth date game thing with them. You understand? But again, it's all about the numbers. It's a numbers game. Now, a lot of times when you say this, guys think they're like, damn, but I got to talk to that many girls just to get 1 or 2 of them to fuck me if I do the direct thing. See, now what you got to understand is, and this is where game comes in, why game is important, is because that even though it's a numbers game, the tighter your game is, the higher the percentages will be of women that want to deal with you, right? So if you have a guy whose game is sort of like okay, right, or decent, he might be the type of dude who he talks to 100 girls. you know, on some direct shit trying to hook up, and, you know, he might get 2 or 3, maybe 4 of them, you know, out of the 100, right? But if your game is tight, if it's super tight, if you know what you're doing, if you know how to interact with these women correctly in these situations when you go direct, right? You could talk to 100 girls and maybe, you know, fuck 10 or 15 of them. You understand? Maybe even 20, right? But again, it's still a numbers game. But the tighter your game is, the, you know, your numbers of who you're going to actually make shit happen with increases. But again, if you want to increase your chances of hooking up with more women, right, you have to make sure that you are, you know, going direct and letting them directly know you want to hook up. And, you know, making sure that you're talking to more women so that you have a higher chance of, you know, connecting with these women who want to hook up with you. You feel me? So, guys, that's pretty much it. If you need any more, you know, advice on this, make sure you guys go to Bad Boy Membership and check out the audio program, Just Have Sex with Her. All right, because that is going to teach you how to have sex without having to go on dates and doing all that other extra shit. You understand? So make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com right now to check that out. All right, so that's pretty much it. And I'll holler at you guys later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone.
Now, before you turn off this video, I want you to do 3 quick things. 1, I want you to click the link below to send me a question. If you have a question on dating and relationships, I'll make a video about it. 2, I want you to click the link under that to get my free audio program, Undeniable Game, which teaches you 7 easy to follow tips on how to really attract beautiful women. And 3, I want you to click the link under that one to go to Bad Boy Membership, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month.
Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy Membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy to follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy Membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.